Greetings, this is Castor's kit reveal and kit review. Now, I'm going to show you how I rate an Awaker. He's grade A to S tier and better than fucking Clem, which is fucking trash. So this is what a good Ultra unit is and why Ultra is full of fucking trash. Okay, let's look at his attributes. Good, good, good. High, above average. In comparison, for example, Tawil has 120, 120, 120, which is the baseline average. It's everything scales of it. Everything's good. Now look at fucking Clem. 112, 108. Garbage. Does nothing for your team. Useless. Now let's look at his E level. Psychic Surge. They're calling it Psychic Surge now with new translation. Look. Every Enlightened past a certain point. Huge damage amp. Huge crit damage. He is the only Awaker in the game with double great stats besides Jellet. Jellet is also crit damage amp, but he scales a lot harder. Look at this. 9.6 to 28.8. Now look at fucking trash Clem. Fucking 4% to 14%. This is why Clem is fucking trash. This is why I rate most units trash. Look at this. These are actual numbers. Level 60. Look at this. Look at these numbers. Next. Look at his talent. He is the first Awaker that has a new mechanic known as Corrosion. Now, Corrosion, every 1% damage amp that Castor has, which means from his wheels, from his cubs. So if you've been rolling for corporal cubs, like I've been saying on my corporal video, for damage amp wheels, damage amp whatever, you are eating. You're welcome. You have a wheel and a covenant ready for Castor, if you built for corporal. Now let's look at Clem's talent. Garbage. Strength for the team. His Corrosion effect is the Chapter 2 Arc 2 mechanic of Purple Skull. I'm going to update it. I'm going to make a new tab and spreadsheet of my dots on new Awaker reviews, but going forward. But if you proc it using active damage, the enemy suffers HP loss equals to 300% of the removed stacks. So that means whenever Castor deals damage to an enemy, he builds Corrosion stack. So the amount of stacks he builds depends on what level you invested, how invested it is, because he gets 10% from dealing damage. He gets an additional 20% after each battle, so his scale is really nice in long stages. Like Clem, but better. Because Clem is just base 20% damage on her alone, which is fucking trash. Clem is a trash unit. His is 20% on his Corrosion. And each Corrosion increase is 300% if you hit it with another Awaker. So he's already better than Clem. Like, look at this. This is great. However, a con of his and what is restrictive, because if it was free, he'd be the most powerful unit in the game. But what it does is non-active damage, remove stacks, and trigger HP loss at 50% effectiveness. So it's going to be worse if you trigger it with bleed, counter, poison, and active tentacle damage, because all those count as non-active damage. So it's a way to nerf like Jellet Castor comps. You can still run it, but this means the devs want you to play with non-meta units, except for Tawil works with this, which is interesting. Tawil works with this just fine, so Tawil Castor, great. But another unit I want to shield is Riker, but I'm going to go on team comps and theory crafts later. But that's basically what it is. The more damage amp he has, the more Corrosion stacks he do. Other Awakers remove Corrosion stacks. Castor cannot remove his own Corrosion stack. Now his talent, this is his Arc 2 talent. This only takes into effect in Arc 2. That means chapters 1 through 9, it will not take into effect. Chapters 1 through 9, which most players at, you're going to ignore this. But Arc 2, this is really good. It will not trigger the Arc 2 debuffs. So this is his shields. This is his Exalt shield. His Exalt shield, this is the level 60 scaling from the dev. So this means this is the value at level 60, 6 talent. This is one of the highest Exalted shields in the game, on par with Corporal Exalt. Now, every other unit, and not as good. Other units have, comparisons and whatnot, but let me just show you what I'm talking about in comparison. I'm going to try to make this quick so we can go back to the kit video. So let's look at Not, level 70. Not level 70, 44 shields, but he increases current shields by 50%, so that's why it's still good. Let's look at, but now let's look at everyone's favorite, Winkle, which she's a good unit in battery, but her shields are lackluster. Why? Level 3, even if you increase it, it's not as much as Castor's Exalted shield. Now let's look at Erica. 51 shield, and it scales up. Every level is 10%. So let's say this is 100 shield. Still less than Castor. Like, his value is too high in my opinion, but that's great. Look, this is 6 out of 6 Sangha, 76 shield. His shield is high value for what it is. Exalt, level 60, extremely high value. Now going back, it shuffles 3 Onyx Plume cards in the draw pile. Now the ability is called Onyx Wound. I'm just gonna call it black feathers or feathers to make it simple. So that's his entire mechanic. These are the feathers he plays with, like Tawil Wings or Jenkins' Brown Attack when she exalts. This is a derived card, like Corporal's Pilot. So unlike Corporal's Pilot, it works as like Tawil. So it's less value than Tawil, better than Corporal's Pilot, because what these does is it draws 1, costs 0. So these are free cards, and every time and it has retain, so you can hold these wings in your hand for his synergy with others. So very good, and it generates corrosion, as you see with his Enlightened when I go over later. Really good. His Overexalt is one of the better Overexalts in the game. I'm not going to use the word best. Best is reserved for units like Tawil and G-Doll, which is almost G-Doll. For in G-Doll's example, it's Overexalt or bust. If you don't have Overexalt on G-Doll, she's a fucking brick. She's still very good, but she's not S tier without Overexalt. She's S tier with Overexalt. This is a very decent Overexalt. It's very good. If you have the money, go for it. If not, it's not that big of a deal. Because unlike Tawil, which increases damage, this adds an additional 3 Onyx Plumes to your hand. It's very good, so you have 3 card draws immediately. And this turn, every time you play Onyx Plume, it additionally inflicts a flat value 84 corrosion. This is decent right here, but it's not great. Why it's not great is because it's flat corrosion, which is what the problem with scaling endgame. Scaling endgame, you want this to be a percent scaling, like a higher percent scaling off of your strength, etc. Like Caucasus 2 cost, which is why Caucasus is a very good counter. This is similar to Wanda's counter build, which is all flat, and that's why Wanda is currently trash, because flat values do not scale well, and this is a flat value. So I can see this not scaling well, but again, we have to play the character. I will make a video on Sunday when he releases. But right now, this is flat, so it's lesser, so you're basically doing it for this. So Overexalt is pretty powerful, but I would withhold judgment. It's potentially really good, but right now, it's great. Not broken. Now his Rouse. His Rouse is the same deal. It is very good because Castor's damage will always critically hit after do it. So 100% crit rate. But with how his other abilities work, once I go into his Enlightened, he's going to have high crit rate if you run him in certain comps anyway. But the reason why it's good, this is a higher corrosion value here, and increased retained shields. So you can hold shields like Nautilus. So potentially, maybe if you play him as a support and not damage dealer, you can put in Nautilus's wheel as well on top of his wheel if you have Nautilus's wheel plus 12, but many players won't have that. And the problem with his Rouse for Arc 1, everyone gets the Rouse. In Arc 2, because of the rules and the SK requirement, you're only going to rouse 2, maybe 3 Awakers. Now, is this Rouse going to be better than some other units' Rouses? Is this better than Tawil Rouse? No. Is this better than Hamlin Rouse? Not particularly. So he's going to be in a weird spot depending on which team comp you run him in. If you run him with Corporal for some reason, which could work, then you would Rouse him over Corporal. But right now, the Rouse priority with this power level of Rouse, really good. I'll place like B tier. It's like a B tier Rouse. Again, once I get in the game and play with it, it might be S tier. We don't know how exactly it will work because it's always critical hit. But we need to know how the tempo play of this Castor if you want to know my thoughts on it. Right now, his Stygian Wind Command card 2, decent card. Nothing bad to say about it. It's an easy weakness apply. Except for it's weaker than some other weakness application. It's 2 cost, so it's somewhat expensive. It gives 70 shields. It's a really nice value in shield. But he's an Ultra character. So remember, Ultra cards have this has Quasar. It's not Leap. It's Quasar. It's Clem, which is a nerf Leap. Because they only affect once. It can't affect after you do other stuff in that turn. So if you Quasar it, you get 112 shields, and you shuffle 1 Onyx Plume. That's a gimmick of all of his cards. It's a pretty expensive weakness card. G-Doll's weakness is better. It's also 2 cost, but it also removes strength. This does not remove strength. This is all multi-hit targets. It's less value. And compared to G-Doll, it's a little bit worse. But again, the shield value is good. It's good. Nothing bad to say about it. It's better than a lot of standard awakers. It's better than Wanda's skills. It's better than Winkle's shield. Very high shields. This is what Ultra needs to make the realm less trash, a shielder. Because right now, you have trouble surviving in Ultra. You have to mix it with some blue. You have to mix it with some Chaos shielders. Now, his Umbral Flight, on the other hand, is better Clem card. Clem card also deals 3. This deals more damage. And it also increases your other teammates' temporary crit damage to 15%. Those of you who have played this game at any level, who have played other gacha games, any strategy games, know how valuable crit damage is and how insane crit damage is. Which is sort of a shame because every game, everyone knows crit is king because of how crit scales. And this just makes it better. Everyone else's crit damage increased by 15% after you play this. Shuffles 1 Onyx card. You don't care about the Quasar. You care about this. This is better Tinked. Tinked has higher value in theory because of her card providing a higher crit rate, higher crit damage than Castor. However, Tinked's card does not take into effect immediately. You have to play it and wait for next turn, and it's a huge brick. This card is also a huge brick. It's a 3 cost. But I'll go into talent later. If you get dupes of him, the brick is removed completely. So this card, fucking great. Fucking great. I will go. Now his strike and defense, nothing to write home about it. Better than Clem. Clem is trash. This is shuffles. This is a nice value, nice shield, nice damage value. Nothing to write home about. Nothing to hate. They're just decent values. You won't play them. You will probably sell his strike. You probably sell his strike, in my opinion. Now let's go on to his Enlightened. These are his breakpoints: E1, E3, OE plus 12. Because his Overexalt and his Enlightened stats, his light attributes, as I said, insane, damage amp, huge. Remember, damage amp infects the whole team. This stat infects the whole team. So if you have him wailed out, your entire team's going to do this much more damage. This is why he's insane. Now look at Clem. Look at this fucking trash champion. Look at this completely dog shit champion. Half the value if you invest in her. Fucking dog shit, bottom tier, soul sucker, scam champion who deserves to get her fucking skull bashed in by fucking Castor. Okay, going back. Now, at the start of the battle, this is like Gillet's E3, except for its E1. You have 1 Onyx Plume in hand. Remember, Onyx Plume lets you draw 1, deals damage, and gets shield, and it's retained. So at the very start of your turn, you get 1 of these. So, or battle, I mean. So you can use it to draw if you have a bad starting hand, or you can keep it. These feathers have retained. So you can hold as many feathers for a super burst turn if you want. Very good. I recommend E1 for everyone. Because it will deal with some variance in some stages. You have a bad starting hand, boom! Feather the fuck out of them, dude. You feather the fuck out of them, and boom. Draw 1 more card. Now you have potentially a better hand. Now, E2. Playing Stygian Wings. Now, it's his weakness card. For every feather you have in hand, it grants 5 additional alien miss after playing Stygian Wing. This is very good because you're going to want to hold feathers in hand for a burst if you have other cards to play. You use feathers to draw cards if your hand is bad. And anyone who plays any deck builder at a high level knows how good draw is. In any card game. Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, etc. Pot of Greed. So you want to hold feathers. If you have a bad hand, you draw. So you're going to hold a lot of feathers. But again, this is the good part. Umbral Flight. For every feather you play that turn, it reduces the cost of this by 1. So if you're holding your feathers correctly, tempoing correctly, this is basically 0 cost. Play this, boom. This is great. I recommend this for everyone to make him less heavy. However, I don't recommend this as an E2 breakpoint. Why? Because if you're at EE2, E3 is right around the corner. Look at this. For every 3 Onyx Plume you play, you get 1 mana. It increases his final damage by 10% in this battle. It scales. Infinite scaling during battle for every 3 feathers. And you're going to play 3 feathers on your Umbral Flight turn. So, huge burst damage. And Umbral Flight, you will always have a combo because you draw 3 cards from your deck. This is a great kit. This is an actual good kit compared to fucking Clem. This is fucking Clem. This is an actual good unit. This is an actual A tier to S tier unit. This is what I'm talking about. Now, this wheel, S tier. This is to wheel, dice level. It's hand size limit +2. You can remove everything else. You can delete all the other texts. You would still pull it because of a hand limit. In D-Tide and other content, you want hand limit. Especially with his feathers. You want hand limit. This is a must pull wheel. Even if you don't like Castor's design, you must pull this for D-Tide. This is a must pull wheel. You can ignore everything else it does. But, in addition, damage amp. This is one of the few damage amp wheels. It's insane. This is insane. And Annihilate, crit damage. Annihilate their Ultra. Insane. This, insane. But you can ignore all this text, and you still pull it just for the hand limit. Pull. That's it. You don't need to read anything else. You don't need to read anything else. Again, now potential S tier. Potential S tier. But I'm gonna say A to S tier because we don't know how easy it is to, cycle through. Like in theory, this is good. Remember, every tier list when Talia was announced put her at B tier, and now she's S tier because we didn't know how easy it is to cycle through. But this has all the markings of an S tier Ultra, which is like Horla. This is probably one of the best Ultra units ever released compared to fucking Clem. Fucking Clem? Fucking dog shit bottom tier scum feeder. Fucking broke ass bitch. Like fucking bash your skull over and over. Worst limited unit ever released. Would you ever spend pulls on her? If you're gonna spend pull on fucking Clem, might as well put a gun and blow your fucking brains out, dude. Holy shit, this is a fucking garbage champion. Holy shit, this is garbage champion, dude. Look at that. Look at the value here. Look at that. Look at how fucking trash she is, dude. Everything about her is fucking trash, dude. Why would you ever want her in a team over fucking... Okay, back on topic. Now, what teams do I recommend with Castor? Now, Castor works well with champions that do not do poison, do not do bleed, do not do counter. He wants active damage. So actually, he scales well with Jenkins. Castor and Jenkins very well because Jenkins, since I'm done talking about Castor, I'm gonna pull up the other screen. Now Jenkins, I'm gonna pull up my Jenkins, the Jank. Now Jenkins, Exalt also increases crit damage. So on a Castor Jenkins turn, you're gonna have a shit ton of crit damage, dude. Look at this, 7% crit damage increase. And her cards are also really free. Now, once you have Castor and Jenkins combined, you're going to need a strength gen. Now, you actually don't want Clem because she's fucking garbage. And besides being garbage, Clem would fucking int the team, dude. Clem will int the fuck out of the team because her buff, quote unquote, look at this. Her buff, quote unquote, causes bleed damage on her talent. Let me look at this. This. Blah, blah, blah. Soulforge. Bleeding effect equals 50% of damage dealt. That's an active damage. Without this bleed effect, I would actually say Clem is a decent unit. But the devs, by buffing her, made her more fucking trash, dude. Because you don't want to use her with Castor because of this. Because the bleed effect will remove the fucking plumes at 50% rate compared to the 300%. So you want another strength gen, which is what Riker comes in. Riker, in my opinion, is going to make a Beastman core unit with Castor. Because Riker, winner takes all, Sigil, drop rate crit. Like, his, in case you don't know, Riker generates, gives everyone 10% to 50% crit rate. He gives everyone crit damage based on his just existing. He gets special relics. So I recommend Riker with that comp. And Riker also is a strength gen unit. Because this strength gens and his Exalt strength gens. And draw cards. So this synergy is the same with Castor. Because Castor places feathers in his deck. And you want to draw his feathers. You want to draw the fuck out of his feathers. And this draws and builds strength. Now the last unit, if I were to say, would be actually Hamlin, because Hamlin can double up on cards. Hamlin is another great strength gen character. And his Rondino, which is his new translation, you can Rondino Castor's Umbral Flight. You can Rondino fucking Jenkins. You can Rondino a lot of units. But Umbral Fight for 30% crit damage. So you can build like a shit ton of crit damage. So my recommended comp for now, based on pure theory crafting, Jenkins, Castor, Hamill, Riker, if you have them. But Tawil also pot combos really well. Because crit rate, crit damage right now, if you have her E3. And she doesn't inflict bleed. She doesn't inflict any damage that will remove it. So Tawil will actually go well with Ultra Castor. Even though I would prefer Blue Will. But this is actually really good. And remember, it's me who calls Ultra Win trash. If I say Tawil works in Ultra, she works in Ultra, dude. She would work with Castor really well. But again, you need at least one strength gen unit. So you want a Riker or a Hamlin at least. Because with Castor and Jenkins, you don't have any strength gen. And you want strength gen. Do I recommend 24? No. There's no other person in Chaos I would recommend besides those units. Oh, forgot. There's actually one unit I would actually recommend running with it. I would recommend G. Ramona. I'm sorry to bear with me. We have to watch this animation together. Let's wait a million years and talk about how fucking trash Clem is and how she's a scourge of Ultra. Okay. Now that we suffer for the animation, G. Ramona, the altar of Ramona, is a decent strength builder. Now, she comes into play 3 times more strength based on this and based on this. She also scales off of strength really well. She uses loop, blah, blah, blah. And you probably want strength posses, but she works well with this comp because, again, this is active damage, crit, high base value damage, but you want her with one strength scaler. So Castor's going to be one of the best scaling units in the game. So, do you want to run Ogier? Maybe. It's a decent strength. Lotan, if you want. It's a small strength. But again, Riker is going to be his best partner. That concludes the video. I will make a video on Riker showcasing him at E3 plus 12, whatever, his abilities on Sunday. In comments below, comment if you want like a short 10-minute video like I did for Jellet, 20 minutes like I did for Corporal, or do you want me to go full hog, do a brief review at the beginning and talk and go for like an hour just using him. I'll probably do a quick 10-minute video and I'll make a separate hour video for those who need it. But 10 minutes for just a quick grasp. If you want more content, you watch the hour. I think that would be a good break point. Anyway, this is me out. Castor is potentially good. I'll give my final thoughts and place him on the tier list on Sunday. Goodbye.